President Muhammadu Buhari Sunday evening granted audience to his Ghanaian counterpart, Nana Akufo-Addo. Joint Health Sector Unions and the Assembly of Healthcare Professionals Association directs members to suspend 7-day nationwide warning strike. Plus, the National Emergency Management Agency visits states across the Federation to sensitize state governments on how to tackle flood. These and more Panorama this Monday. I'm Ian Ray John. Welcome. President Muhammadu Buhari Sunday evening granted audience to his Ghanaian counterpart Nana Akufo-Addo. State House correspondent Adam Musambo reports that President Akufo-Addo, who was recently elected chairman of ECOWAS, came to Nigeria on a familiarization visit to the headquarters of the sub-regional organization in Abuja. President Buhari and the Ghanaian leader held talks behind closed doors that lasted about 1 hour, and details of the discussions were not made public. President Nana Akufo-Addo could not say much when confronted by NTA News.
As you know, I've just been recently elected chairman of the community, so I'm coming to see the people at the headquarters. Formal visit, and he was good enough to invite me to dinner.
So those matters of mutual concern.
We'll be talking.
The Ghanaian leader, who is seeking for a second term in office, was elected chairman of ECOWAS at the 57th Extraordinary Summit of the Heads of State and Government held in Nigeria Republic on the 7th of this month. The incumbent governor of Edo State and candidate of the People's Democratic Party in Saturday's governorship election has been elected for a second term. He polled a total number of 307,955 votes to beat his closest opponent, APC candidate Pastor Osaige Izeyamu, who scored 223,619 votes. Ogochuka Ona has details.
Baseki was declared winner by the returning officer of the election and Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Petroleum Resources, Efron, Delta State.
I, Professor Akofure Rimruge, hereby sanctify that I'm the returning officer for Edo State governorship election held on the 19th day of September 2020. That Godwin N. Obaseki of PDP, having satisfied the requirement of the law in meeting the 25% in two-thirds of the local government area in the state and having a margin of lead higher than the council votes, is hereby declared the winner and returned elected. Signed by my very self. Today, 20 September 2020.
The party agents comment.
I want to use this opportunity to thank all Edo people and also appreciate INEC for a very peaceful process, as well as the security agencies.
In the next couple of days, the party will come out with its position on how we are going to address these anomalies that have been trade these elections. We are going to appeal to our supporters to be calm and not to subject themselves into unlawful acts. APC is a responsible party and will continue to be peaceful.
The number of accredited voters is 557,443. Total valid votes, 537,407. Rejected votes, 12,835, while the total votes cast is 550,242. In Benin, Ogochuka Ona, NTA News.
And away from politics now, First Lady of Nigeria, Aisha Buhari, has sympathized with the government and people of Kebbi State over the recent flood disaster affecting many communities in the state. The First Lady assured those affected of her continued support to reducing the impact of the hardship. State House correspondent Aliyu Kabru reports on this and the pattern of the distribution of the relief materials to the affected.
In continuation of her humanitarian gesture to victims of flood disasters in Nigeria, the First Lady Aisha Muhammadu Buhari sent a delegation to Kebbi State. In future, she had visited Zimakera in Birnin Kebbi for the distribution of the materials directly to the affected persons as the whole area was submerged. NASA stated the victims to be using canoes on board in finding their ways to neighboring communities for succor. These women are moving to receive the materials brought to them by the First Lady, as the distribution was on fast-come, fast-served basis. The items distributed include rice, noodles, blankets, cooking oil, and other essential commodities. Future Assured team also visited Garkar Sarki in Jiga local government of the state, the area that was hit hard by flood, for similar exercise. The essence was to put a smile on their faces and to cushion the effect of their hardship.
We were here since a few days ago. We have started distributing items as palliative measures to cushion the effect and impact of the flooding that happened. Today, we are in Jega local government. Yesterday, we were in other local governments like Badugo and Kalgo, Zaga town, and even some remote locations inside the bush where most of the people really, that their houses were washed out, their means of livelihood taken away. We are forced to resettle in temporary settlements.
I wish to express our profound gratitude and appreciation for this contribution and her kindness to our people.
Team Future Assured had earlier distributed similar relief materials to the affected communities in Bagudo and Zaga in Kalgo local government areas of the state, with a plan for the gesture to be extended to Arugungu and Yauri local governments and other affected areas. In Birnin Kebi, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Meanwhile, property worth several millions of naira, including some public infrastructural facilities, have been damaged during Saturday's heavy rains in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital. Iyabodi Oloroshola, who went around some parts of the town, reports that many residents affected by the rainstorm are now homeless.
82-year-old Fatima Babatunde's house and her belongings have all gone due to the heavy downpour. Like other victims, Mama Fatima is left with ruins of the destruction caused by the rain, while she is still not sure of where to lay her head. Arishekola Ahmed is a final year student who just finished his WAEC and is preparing for NECO and NAPTEP. He has now lost all his reading materials to the rains, making it difficult for him to prepare for the exams.
We go and sleep in our shelter mosques yesterday when these things happened yesterday. The shelter mosques and everybody in this house don't sleeping.
Dada, Okelele, Abayawu, Baboko, Balogun Fulani, Okekere and Adabata, all in Ilorin metropolis, were also not spared.
It affects schools, then houses, and our electricity power.
All our properties, including food items, were destroyed by the rainstorm. In fact, we slept in another person's house last night. All our furnitures, food, markets, and other valuables have all been destroyed by the rain.
Electric poles, cables, transformers, and street lights along Maraba and Amilegbe areas were also destroyed during the storm, throwing the entire area into blackout. The rainstorm lasted more than 2 hours. Iyabodi Olorunsola, NTA News.
And as flood continues to ravage different communities, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency has continued to release yearly outlook of flood disasters in the country in order to create awareness and ensure adequate preparations by affected states. To this end, the National Emergency Management Agency has been visiting states across the Federation to sensitize state governments on how to tackle the flooding. Here's a compilation of some states visited.
Kelvin Samuel reports that goods and property worth millions of naira were destroyed in the states when flood wrecked homes, a filling station, and a hotel at Ikim-Itam Junction. The owner of the filling station and hotel said the problem started when a construction company working on the road channeled a drainage towards his building, but left it uncompleted, and efforts to reach the contractor proved abortive until the rain came and washed away valuables.
We are all stranded. We don't have any place to sleep right now.
We noticed the house was already flooded, so we tried lifting up things and everywhere was already messed up before we could even do anything.
They are appealing to the government to mandate the construction company to complete the drainage projects. In Yobe, Yunusa Suleiman reports that statistics indicated that this year the flood disaster claimed 9 lives and destroyed many communities in 16 local government areas of the state. In a bid to strengthen collaboration in combating the annual disaster, NEMA was in Yobe State on an advocacy visit to encourage the state government to key into the 2020 National Flood Mitigation Response Recovery Drive.
This year, the highly probable flood risk areas in Yobe State include Gaidam, Bade, Bursari, Karasua, Yusufari, local government areas. Your Excellency, in view of the foregoing, I wish to request the state government to kindly take proactive and necessary mitigating measures.
Meanwhile, the Director of Disaster Control Department, NEMA, Vincent Owan, has urged the Benue State government to put in place effective mechanism preparatory to addressing impending disasters.
It is imperative to activate all plans and measures against the prediction as the seasons move towards the peak.
Charles Alba reports that Governor Samuel Ortom also re-emphasized concern over the silting of River Benue and called for its dredging to forestall adverse flooding in the states.
When the whole state was devastated with flooding, Makurdi was flooded with water everywhere. And the Vice President graciously came here and he saw our plight and promised that he was going to work towards the dredging of River Benue. That will be the solution.
Also, the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, is evolving strategies to mitigate the effect of flooding in Osun State. This year, NEMA Authority, during an advocacy visit to Osun State, wants the government to take proactive measures to minimize losses. Femi Afariogun reports.
The 2020 seasonal rainfall prediction has placed 16 out of the 30 local government areas of Osun State under probable flood risk areas, with Ila local government predicted as highly at risk. NEMA has already swung into action in the state as it met with frontline and other response agencies to ensure proper synergy so as to minimize losses in case of floods.
At federal level, at state level, local government level, community level, and in fact, even international. All hands must be on deck as far as managing disaster, emergencies, or humanitarian crisis is concerned.
Is to enable all the stakeholders to know their functions whenever flood arises.
For FRSC, we are prepared and we are organized.
The NEMA team was also at the office of the Secretary to the State Government, Prince Wale Oyebamiji.
The state government is proactive and aggressive in our public awareness campaign to enlighten our people, not to indulge in waste dumping in drainages and waterways.
NEMA is also planning to incorporate the 209 Quick Response Group of the Nigerian Air Force at Ipetu-Ijesha in its effective flood management team. Femi Afariogun, NTA News.
And away from flood-related issues now, the International Day of Peace, also known as World Peace Day, is a United Nations-sanctioned holiday observed annually on 21st September to strengthen the ideals of peace globally and be committed to peace. This day, peace is expected to prevail over all differences and also build a culture of peace through observing 24 hours of non-violence and ceasefire and provide a shared date for all humanity to commit to peace. And this year's theme is Shaping Peace Together. Let's take a quick break. Panorama continues shortly. Do stay.
For now, the best and most efficient way to avoid getting infected is through regular hygienic and sanitary practices, as well as social distancing. As individuals, we remain the greatest weapon to fight this pandemic. By washing our hands regularly with clean water and soap, disinfecting frequently used surfaces and areas, coughing into a tissue or elbow, and strictly adhering to infection prevention control measures in health facilities, we can contain this virus.
Coronavirus is real. Steps to avoid this pandemic. Wash your hands regularly or sanitize your hands. Keep social and physical distancing. Avoid crowded places. Stay at home unless absolutely necessary. Don't touch your eyes, nose or mouth if your hands are not clean. Avoid the spread of coronavirus. Coronavirus is real.
Let's now take a look at the numbers as regards the pandemic. The Nigerian Center for Disease Control and CDC has announced 97 new cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria. Lagos has 46, Kwara 12, Rivers 11, Adamawa, Niger, Ogun and Osun states have 4 each. Ekiti, Imo and Kaduna states have 3 each. Plateau 2 and FCT recorded 1 case. There are now 57,242 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria. 48,569 discharged, while 1,098 persons have died from the virus in the country. The Cross River State COVID-19 response team is continuing with aggressive sensitization campaigns and samples collection at Yakuru and Abuja local government areas of the state to consolidate on its achievement of curtailing the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic. Paul Abel reports.
Massive community testing, collection of samples, reaching out to villages and the hinterlands through sensitization campaigns, and the provision of PPEs are some of the inputs of the COVID-19 response team at Yakar and Abi local government areas. Other activities of the team at rural communities include appreciation of health workers as well as the revamping of the healthcare system through quality health service delivery.
We want special programs like immunization, safe maternal and child health services, and indeed several other HIV, malaria, name it, those nutritional programs to be back running the way they were before COVID.
Our people sensitized and a lot of precaution that will be taken in order for them not to contact COVID.
The visit also afforded the team the opportunity to inaugurate COVID-19 surveillance officers, sensitize market dwellers, distribute PPEs, and train health workers, civil servants, and traditional rulers to monitor compliance, especially as schools are expected to resume soon. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
The now popular use of the term new normal is in itself novel and has continued to evolve as the global community adapts the measures initiated to contain the coronavirus pandemic. NTA Finefits puts into perspective an aspect of this new normal with attention to safety and effective regulations.
With COVID-19 came new ways of doing things. What has now become popular as the new normal refers to a wide range of behavioral patterns. Some new, others were enforced. They include, but not limited to, wearing face masks, keeping spatial distance from other people, an act commonly referred to as social distance, regular temperature checks, hand washing with soap and running water, and use of alcohol-based hand sanitizers. There is also a popularized practice of decontamination of surfaces and open spaces. The new normal has metamorphosed further into technologies that were alien to many societies, one of which is disinfection cubicle used as a walk-through human decontamination machine.
The new normal has compelled us to different things, so we have to do everything to prevent the spread of this virus. So everything, we just have to indulge the inconveniences as it is and then go through it.
It's
actually interesting. It's not something you find common everywhere. You know, we do safety first. So if it's petty that my makeup might be altered, but it doesn't affect.
While sanitizers are applied to the hand, disinfection chemicals release chemicals to the entire body, which begs the question, is it safe?
For instance, WHO has a standard for if you are using chlorine-based dilution, you use 1 part per million. Every manufacturer, every company knows that. So if it is used according to that formulation, according to that protocol, it will not pose any harm, or the harm will be very minimal.
In the absence of sophisticated models, local alternatives are used, but how are they monitored to ensure compliance with standards in the chemicals applied?
The Ministry of Environment is responsible for the issue of enforcing standards. So it is a responsibility of we as the regulators to make sure that all the formulation that is being used has followed the issue of followed the international standard.
The fact that there is still no cure or vaccine for COVID-19 means humanity must adapt to the new normal, but one can never be too careful, even in adaptation. Onengiye Fine Face, NTA News.
Many thanks, Onengiye. And still talking health, the Joint Health Sector Unions, JHESU, and the Assembly of Healthcare Professionals Association, AHPA, have directed their members to suspend 7-day nationwide warning strike from Sunday midnight, 20th September. JHESU Chairman Josiah Belemoye said by this notice, all health workers under JHESU and AHPA shall return to work today, Monday, 21st September 2020, across all federal health institutions in the country. He added that JHESU will continue to use all legitimate means to defend the rights and welfare of its members in the health sector by demanding that public health system in Nigeria is sustained and adequately financed for effective, efficient and affordable healthcare service delivery. Away from health, now talking security. In line with the global best practice of modern Air Force operation, the Nigerian Air Force has trained and graduated 24 rebels at the annex of Regiment Training Center, Abuja. Muazu Hassan reports that the force also inaugurated 219 personnel for Special Force Course 7 2020.
The graduation ceremony of the 24 successful intermediate rappellers begins with the demonstration of necessary skills, tactics and procedures the trainees have acquired during the course, which is expected to enable them operate effectively in the Nigerian Air Force Special Operations Force units. Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, represented by the Air Officer Commanding Ground Training Command, Air Vice Marshal Idi Amin, says the course was designed to equip the instructors with what it takes to adequately mold the trainees into the best special force operatives.
I state at this juncture that we are proud of the standard of knowledge and skill which the instructors inculcated in the trainings of various courses, as well as being demonstrated by the special forces involved in various internal security operations across the country. We urge you not to rest on your oars, but to continue to work assiduously for further improvements.
The 219 personnel inaugurated for the Special Course 7 2020 comprise 14 officers and 205 airmen and airwomen. Course is said to be very rigorous and is expected to produce resilient, trustworthy and professional special forces in Bauchi. Muaz Hassan, NTA News.
Let's now have a bit of sports with Amanzi Marcus as our guide.
Nigeria's Taiwo Awoniyi remains in the German Bundesliga